Good afternoon, I'm Rob Boskamp, and you're listening to South Texas Midday. Due to ongoing drought conditions across Texas, the Lower Colorado River Authority informed the city of Corpus Christi yesterday that there was insufficient water supply in the Lower Colorado River. In response, the city sourced all water transported through the MRP exclusively from Lake Texana under the city's contract with the Lavaca Navidad River Authority. There will be no interruption in the water service because of the change in water sources. The city and Corpus Christi Water routinely monitor these situations as part of normal operations. The city's water supply system is designed with multiple sources to ensure continuity of service during such events. The LCRA has indicated in conversation with CCW that the full amount of water from the Colorado River will be available for the city today. Part of the reduction was a result of environmental flows that are required by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. There is no policy direction in the City Council-approved drought contingency plan to curtail any customer classification should one water supply source experience temporary disruption in availability. The Brownsville Police Department said they're tracking a new trend involving thieves targeting Jeep Gladiators. The warning comes after a 14-year-old suspect was found yesterday behind the wheel of a stolen Jeep Gladiator. KRGV reported that the teen suspect led police officers on a chase where they collided with multiple vehicles while fleeing law enforcement. An Ontario, Canada resident who's in Brownsville for work said he was renting the vehicle and it was taken from the parking lot of the hotel he was staying at. Police were able to locate the vehicle because an AirTag wasn't sighted, leading to the arrest of the teen suspect. Brownsville Police spokesperson April Luna said criminals using underage drivers is a common tactic and results in fast money for juveniles. According to Luna, 15 vehicles have been reported stolen in Brownsville this month alone. 9 of those have been Jeep Gladiators. Police say there are many ways to protect your vehicle from getting stolen. Tips include installing a kill switch or buying a steering wheel club. 3 major metropolitan areas in Texas are expected to lead employment growth for the remainder of 2025. Texas Public Radio's Brian Kirkpatrick reports on the latest job forecast from the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas.
The number of jobs will increase by at least 1.7% in Texas this year and maybe even a little higher. San Antonio, El Paso, and Austin will lead the way. For the month of April, professional and business services led overall job growth, followed by construction and manufacturing. The only sectors that lost jobs last month were information services and those that include repair and maintenance and personal care. The forecast reported more than 245,000 jobs will be added to the Texas workforce this year. Total employment in the state by December could be around 14.4 million. The Texas unemployment rate was unchanged at 4.1% in April. I'm Brian Kirkpatrick in San Antonio.
Brownsville has been doing some amazing things, keeping their city beautiful, and not just for 1 year, but for 26 years. Find out more as Joe Michael speaks with Brownsville City Forester Hunter Losey.
Brownsville, Texas has been named Tree City USA for 26 consecutive years by the Arbor Day Foundation. The award recognizes the city's continued commitment to growing and maintaining a healthy urban forest. The Arbor Day Foundation is a nonprofit organization founded in 1972 by John Rosenau in Nebraska City. The foundation has more than 1 million members and has planted more than 500 million trees and symbiotic flora throughout the world. Hunter Losey, Brownsville's city forester, explains the city's ecosystem and how they keep things growing.
Brownsville is a really interesting spot. We are an ecological hotspot for birding. We've got several different ecosystems that all collide in the Rio Grande Valley. Coming up from the south, from Mexico, we've got the Tamaulipan thorn scrub. And then coming from the north, got the western Gulf Plains. And then to the west of us, we start getting into the transition into the Chihuahuan Desert. So it's a really unique ecosystem. We are a temperate climate. We get a lot of rain, but only during certain periods of time. And then for the rest of the year, it's very hot, dry, and humid. But we've got some really great trees and some of the last remaining stands of some ecosystems here that aren't found anywhere else in the Rio Grande Valley. We've got the Sable Palm Sanctuary, which is an old-growth sable palm forest along the Rio Grande that we've lost almost all of it due to farming and agriculture. And really close nearby, we've also got one of the last remaining Montezuma cypress stands that surround our oxbow lakes that we call resakas. Most of them were lost to the agriculture and lumber as well. So we really have interesting trees, but we really work really hard to protect them and see them replanted in the landscape to kind of continue that heritage of trees that we've got here.
Keeping things green in Brownsville relies on rainfall, a city vision, and a plan.
We were really lucky. The City of Brownsville has enacted a tree preservation ordinance, I believe, in 1999 when they adopted their first landscape code, and we've continually updated it and improved it over the years. It's really a living document. I'm kind of working on the next round of tree preservation here, but we require a tree survey for any sort of new development and then a mitigation plan if trees are being removed. Trees can also be donated in lieu of mitigation, and we'll find a place on city property to move those trees as a donation.
This is Joe Smikle for KEDT News.
On that note, the Texas A&M Forest Service is helping Texans stop the spread of oak wilt through the Texas Oak Wilt Suppression Program. Oak wilt has been reported in 76 Texas counties and is killing oak trees in Central and West Texas. The disease can also reduce property value according to the Forest Service. Oak wilt can be identified by yellow and brown veins on live oak tree leaves. One of the most effective ways to prevent the spread of the disease is trenching. This involves digging 4-foot deep trenches at least 100 feet beyond symptomatic trees to stop the fungus from traveling through root systems. Trenching costs are eligible for cost-share assistance through the program. The Texas Oak Wilt Suppression Program also helps homeowners with the cost of removing infected red oaks. Treatment guidelines and applications are available online at texasoakwilt.org and must be approved before any cost-share work begins. Work on the Coopers Alley L-Head construction project is now underway and will require a lane closure. Two-way traffic will continue on the westbound lane. Flaggers will be present to help navigate the construction zone. The project includes replacing several piers and related underground dredging. This closure is expected to last through June 1st. Yesterday, the Texas Senate gave final approval to a bill focused on improving school safety training and law enforcement and emergency response. Titled the Uvalde Strong Act, lawmakers say the bill is part of a continued effort to prevent mass shootings, specifically at schools. The measure, House Bill 33, does many things, including mandating officers complete active shooter training at schools and requiring school districts and law enforcement to meet annually to plan active shooter responses. While the bill passed unanimously, Senator Roland Gutierrez, a San Antonio Democrat, says it doesn't go far enough to stop school shootings.
Well, this piece of legislation is fine and it's good, but let's not kid ourselves. Until we stop getting guns out of the hands of 18-year-olds, automatic assault rifles like this is going to happen again.
The measure is meant to help coordination between officers and schools in their regions and is a direct response to the 2022 Uvalde school shooting, when officers took more than an hour to confront the shooter. House Bill 33 now heads to Governor Greg Abbott's desk. Meanwhile, a trio of Senate bill reform measures advanced in the House yesterday. Houston Public Media's Andrew Schneider says the most controversial was a proposed constitutional amendment that would deny bail pending trial to people in the country without legal status who are accused of a range of serious felonies.
Senate Joint Resolution 1 is also known as Jocelyn's Law for Jocelyn Nungare, a 12-year-old Houston girl who was sexually assaulted and killed last year, allegedly by two undocumented immigrants from Venezuela. Republican Representative John Smithy presented SJR 1 to the House.
Had we passed this constitutional amendment 6 years ago, there would be little boys and girls still alive today who were tragically killed.
Several Democrats raised concerns that SGR 1 would violate the due process rights of immigrants. The measure garnered a majority vote, but not the two-thirds majority needed to pass without a third reading. Two other bail reform measures that would make it easier to hold those accused of serious crimes without bond pending trial passed with overwhelming majorities. I'm Andrew Schneider in Houston.
Legislation offering free cancer screenings to Texas firefighters is now headed to the governor's desk. House Bill 198, authored by Flower Mound Republican Benjamin Bumgarner, received final approval from the Texas Senate yesterday. Firefighters are at increased risk of developing cancer due to their exposure to carcinogens on the job. Senator Tam Parker read the bill and referenced firefighter Wade Cannon from his district, who passed away from colon cancer 3 years ago.
His dying fight was to protect his brothers in uniform, to make sure that no firefighter in Texas would go without the preventative screenings that could save their lives.
The state Senate voted unanimously to approve the proposal. Texas 2025 legislative session is in its final weeks. Lawmakers are set to gavel out on June 2nd. The city of Brownsville will host the One City Information Fair this Thursday from 5:30 to 8 p.m. at the Brownsville Event Center. This family-friendly, free public event offers the community a chance to engage with city departments and learn more about the services and programs available throughout Brownsville. City staff will be available to share details about services and future projects and how residents can participate and benefit from various city initiatives, including the Brownsville Police Department, Library Services, and Parks and Recreation, among many others. And a new Goodwill store is opening soon in Corpus Christi. The thrift store chain's brand new location is being built at 4222 South Staple Street, with a grand opening scheduled for June 5th. Goodwill Industries of South Texas's celebration will include prizes for the first 100 guests, including free coffee and entry into a Corpus Christi Hooks raffle. Officials say the store will offer a jobs connection center with job support, resume assistance, and career counseling. The grand opening begins at 8:30 a.m. on June 5th. And that is the latest news and information on South Texas Midday. I'm Rob Boskamp. Your community arts calendar and more is on the way. Good afternoon. I'm Rob Boskamp, and you're listening to South Texas Midday. Beachgoers on South Padre Island may stumble across more sea turtle nests than usual this time of year. According to Sea Turtle Inc., nesting season for the turtles came early this year. KRGV reports that volunteers responded to 60 nesting turtles last week. During this time last year, volunteers responded to 38. Turtles that have nested so far are all endangered Kemp's Ridley sea turtles. Each nest will have between 80 to 120 eggs. Green sea turtles may start arriving next month. Staff and volunteers take those eggs to a safe place, while nesting mothers get a general health check. The mothers also receive a tumor check and a tag check to see if the team has previously treated them. It takes nesting moms an average of 2 years to work up the energy to nest on the coast of South Padre Island. Sea Turtle Inc. is asking the public to help those turtles by clearing out trash, filling any sand holes that are dug, and knocking down sandcastles before heading home. The current nesting season runs until the end of August. As the University of Houston-Victoria prepares for new ownership in the fall with the transfer to the Texas A&M system, current president Dr. Bob Glenn is also moving on to a new phase. Dr. Glenn participated in his final commencement this past Saturday as he is set to retire in August. Dr. Glenn has worked in higher education since 1975, making August the 50-year anniversary of his first job with education. He credits the partnership between the City of Victoria and UHV for the success he achieved with the school since his hire in 2018. Dr. Glenn plans to move to Missouri with his wife in his retirement, back to the city he lived in when he worked for Missouri State University. Beginning today, road work on Martin Road will require lane closures. Travel will be one-way southbound from Holly Road to Dorado Street. The project is a road reconstruction with new asphalt pavement, curbs and gutters, ADA-compliant curb ramps, and upgraded street lighting. Related underground utilities are also included. The $2.5 million project was approved by voters as part of Bond 2022. The road project is expected to be completed by June 2026. Victoria ISD is offering free summer meals to children ages 18 or younger. Breakfast and lunch will be served at multiple locations with no registration or ID required. All meals must be eaten on site. Some campuses will start distributing meals as early as June 2nd and run as late as August. Most campuses will serve meals weekdays, though some will follow a Monday through Thursday schedule. For the list of campuses and updates, visit visd.net. In state news, Congress is debating a spending plan that could severely reduce federal funding for Medicaid and the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, or food stamps. KERA's Becca Moore reports on how the cuts would impact Texans.
Congressional Republicans need to find close to $2 trillion in spending cuts to offset the cost of extending President Donald Trump's 2017 tax cuts. The current proposal would reduce federal Medicaid funding by nearly $900 billion and require states to chip in about 25% 50% of the cost for SNAP recipients. El Paso County Commissioner Ileana Holguin says these cuts won't just affect people currently receiving assistance.
Chilling and compounding effects on communities across Texas are inevitable. These cuts are a two-step blow to people's health in all of our communities.
Texas already has the highest number of uninsured residents in the country and the second highest rate of food insecurity. I'm Becca Moore in Dallas.
According to the Texas Department of State Health Services, the total number of measles cases in the state related to the outbreak in West Texas is now 718 since late January. KTTZ's Samantha Larned reports only one more case was confirmed since the last update on Tuesday.
The single new confirmed case was reported in Gaines County, which has seen the most measles cases since the outbreak was first identified, 406 total. There have been no new hospitalizations related to the outbreak since Tuesday, or any new Texas counties reporting cases. Dallam County has been removed as a designated outbreak county, as more than 2 incubation periods have passed since the last case was infectious. However, New Mexico has begun reporting cases in Sandoval County near Albuquerque. New Mexico's health department has confirmed 3 new cases connected with the outbreak since Tuesday, for a total of 74 cases in the state since the outbreak was identified. In Lubbock, I'm Samantha Larned.
A bill that would make booksellers liable for selling or displaying materials deemed inappropriate for minors appears to have stalled in the Texas House. KERA's Catherine Hobbs reports Dallas-based Half Price Books was among the bill's more vocal opponents.
Half Price Books says House Bill 1375 placed an unfair burden on retailers, particularly small stores that can't afford legal battles. The legislation appears to have died after missing a key deadline in the House. But company president Kathy Doyle Thomas says she's still concerned about similar efforts in the future. She says the bill shifts responsibility away from families and onto businesses.
If you don't want your child to read a book, then take it away from them. That is your right as a parent. Your right as a parent is not to tell me what I can and can't read.
Critics say the bill amounted to censorship. Supporters argued it's a tool for protecting children. I'm Catherine Hobbs in Dallas.
The State House of Representatives has passed a bill to repeal the state's law banning, quote, homosexual conduct. Houston Public Media's Andrew Schneider reports the bill faces steep odds against passage in the Senate, even though the original law has been unenforceable since the U.S. Supreme Court ruled it unconstitutional over 20 years ago.
The Supreme Court ruled in 2003 that state laws criminalizing consensual sex between people of the same sex were unconstitutional, but the Texas law has survived on the books due to conservative resistance. Democratic State Representative Venton Jones, one of the first black gay members of the Texas legislature, wrote the bill to repeal it.
I'm not asking you to vote based on whether or not you agree with the Lawrence v. Texas ruling. Instead, I'm asking you to vote on a law that strengthens the fundamental civil liberties and individual freedoms that all Texans deserve.
The bill passed the House on its final reading by a vote of 59 to 56, with a handful of Republicans joining forces with Democrats. I'm Andrew Schneider in Houston.
The Texas Senate passed a bill last week that would shut down the state's lottery commission. The bill's author, Senator Bob Hall of Edgewood, is accusing the Lottery Commission of enabling money laundering and the sale of lotto tickets to underage customers.
The commission, it changed its administrative rules specifically to assist criminal rigging of the lottery.
The bill would also mandate a sunset review in 2027 to determine whether the lottery should continue to exist. The proposal was set to head to the Texas House for consideration. Hundreds of athletes of varying abilities and disabilities gathered in San Antonio last month to compete in the annual Texas Parasport Games. Texas Public Radio's Jackie Velez was there.
Are y'all ready to get down?
Athletes from all over Texas came to compete in tennis, rowing, and archery. San Antonio High School sophomore Callie Klein is a lower left below the knee amputee. She says archery was a sport she quickly adapted to.
I like doing it because since I'm a leg prosthetic, it's easier for me to not have to run around in a sport like basketball or soccer. That's very tedious on my legs. I don't get sore easily. Archery, you're just kind of like golf, like you're competing against yourself and just you score and you still have a really good team dynamic.
15-year-old Azalea Sandoval of San Antonio is an amputee and an award-winning archer. She couldn't wait to take part in the Parasport Games.
I'm a person that likes to try like every sport. So when I saw it, I was like, hey mom, I want to try it out, see how I do. And she was like, okay, let's do it. And that's when I started and I've been doing it for 2 years.
The tennis court had its own action at the ultra-accessible Morgan Sports Complex. Middle school student Lily Terrell from Spring Branch has spina bifida. She competed in the shot put and tennis. On the court, she wields a tennis racket and wheelchair with ease.
It's amazing. You're getting the exercise and you're getting the sunlight and having fun at the same time.
The most exciting action came from the rowing competition at Morgan's Multi-Assistance Center. Instead of rowing in a lake or a river, participants used adapted rowing machines that computed who was working the hardest and moving the fastest. Contestants had to complete 500 meters. First-time rowing competitor Tina Lavalley was cheered on and was overcome with emotion at the virtual finish line.
I did this. I would have cried. Happy tears. I didn't think I could do it. I'm exhausted. I finished. I did it.
Texas Parasports awarded some lucky competitors with accommodating equipment to aid in their adaptive sports. Lyndon Williamson, a neuroscience researcher in San Antonio and recent Boston Marathon participant, was awarded a new racing wheelchair. She hopes to use it to qualify for the U.S. Para Track and Field National Championships.
Having individualized equipment that fits me perfectly will allow me to really excel on the track without the barriers of expensive equipment.
The Texas Parasport winners will compete in the national championships this summer. I'm Jackie Velez in San Antonio.
Texas A&M Corpus Christi announced last week that head softball coach Kathleen Rodriguez will not have her contract renewed. Rodriguez served as the head coach of the program since the 2022 season, compiling an 82-109 overall record and a 37-56 mark in Southland Conference play. The decision to part ways comes after the Islanders saw a 12-36 overall record and a 6-21 conference mark in 2025. A national search for the next head softball coach will begin immediately. And over the weekend, the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley's baseball team, the number 2 seed in the Southland Conference Tournament, saw bracket play come to an end. They lost 4-2 Saturday to the number 6 Houston Christian University Huskies at UT-RGV Baseball Stadium in front of a crowd of nearly 2,500. The Vaqueros, 36-18 overall, now await their postseason fate, which will be decided during the NCAA Tournament Selection Show on May 26 at 11 a.m. on either ESPN2 or ESPNU. And that's the latest news and information on South Texas Midday. I'm Rob Boskamp. Your community arts calendar and more is on the way.